All right. Welcome to the Holiday Book Festival 2020. Oh, I put the wrong date on that. 2024.
Ah,
Holiday Book Festival 2024 that will be happening in Milford, Michigan, November 30th, 2024. And we have with us here today Keith Stone, one of our fabulous authors that will be in attendance. And let's see,
hello,
Keith,
Mandy.
how are you doing?
Pretty good.
And you're coming from Ohio, right?
Right. I
Oh,
lived in Michigan for 58 years, but then my son got a job in Columbus, and then they had a granddaughter, so we made the move down here.
excellent reasoning for moving too.
Yes, being a grandfather is the best. Our granddaughter's here right now, and she just turned 2, and then they just had a grandson. Um,
Ooh,
she is 11 weeks old.
nice. So just the two grandkids?
Yep, I have two boys, and just the one is married. The other one is a um, game designer, so he's trying to start his own company and develop video games.
Very good. So in your bio, you were in a golf cart accident 9 years ago that left you quadriplegic, and that inspired you to write your memoir, which I think is awesome.
Yeah,
Um, and you've got four novels so far.
correct. Just about done with number 5.
Awesome. So number 5, you anticipate having ready for the Holiday Book Festival?
Mm, perhaps, but now I get into fantasy football, and I have to spend some time doing that.
Ah.
But I signed up for the June show in
Hmm.
Milford, so I'll definitely have it for that show.
Awesome. So your book cover is over your shoulder,
Yep,
and that's DNA Deception. And
correct.
that book cover is going to be in the book cover contest, correct?
Right.
Awesome. So, what all genres do you write in?
Well, my first book was my memoir. It's called The Optimistic Quadriplegic, and I was when I woke up, I was in ICU for 2 days or 9 days, and I was able to talk after 2 days. And my wife and I didn't want it to be a pity party for me, so we wanted to try and make something positive out of it. So we decided to write the book over a period of time. I went to a rehab hospital for 6.5 months, then came home, did a lot of outpatient rehab. So it covers about the first 6 years after my accident. I'm coming up on my anniversary, August 16th of 2015 was when I had my accident.
Mm,
So, so I had never written a book before, rarely read a book before, but I had, it was such a great motivation for me to use my brain. I couldn't use my body so much, but I could use my brain. And I got some fantastic equipment from an organization that tries to help get people like me on their back up on their feet. So I got some voice to text um, software, computer, an adjustable desk, so I can get my wheelchair underneath there. Um, so and it's a really good. It's called Dragon. It's a little bit different. Um, where it's better than just like Siri and all that stuff. I
hmm.
can it'll flag like, uh, check your spelling, check the grammar. You might not like that. And it's easy to delete sentences and go back and do them again. And
Oh, wonderful.
normally I wear headphones like you have on, and it picks up my voice really well. So it's not too bad, it's pretty easy. So I did the memoir, and then I said I liked writing so much, I look forward to it, that I started writing novels. And I don't know what I was thinking. My first novel was called The United States of Analytics, and it's about the government giving free health care and free education. But what are the trade offs? Like if your genes indicated that you and your spouse were likely to have cancer, they wouldn't let you have children because they didn't want to pay for that coverage. It's a lot of
Hmm.
scary things like that. So that brings me to DNA deception, which is
Mm-hmm.
about people submitting their DNA willingly to Ancestry.com and 23andMe. But what happens if that information gets in the wrong hands? Um, and what
That's
could
a
your,
good question.
what 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 could your enemies do with all that information?
Hmm.
So that kind of freaks people out when I tell them that. And like when I talk to people at these shows, they say, I've always thought about that. And so they want to read it and scare themselves a little bit. But that's kind of what I wrote another book called Magic Mirror, and it was another kind of a black um, murder mystery. It was about like those Peloton mirrors that you can work out with a
Mm-hmm.
virtual trainer. Well, what if the trainer could always see into your home and you didn't know it? So it's a
Hmm.
lot of murders going on there. But then I lightened it up. My most recent book is called The Buskers. A busker are those people that you see, like when you come out of a concert, they'll be playing their drums or playing a guitar, and they have their guitar case open, and they're just looking for tips. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this is about three people that started out as buskers, and then they came together and formed a band, and it was right around when MTV was first coming out. So they
Mm-hmm.
were basically a one hit wonder. Um, and then all the success that came with that. But then with the success, something tragic tends to happen. So that's what that's about. Um, so the book I'm writing right now is called The Pickleball Murders. Now, have you heard of pickleball?
Actually, I have heard of pickleball. I actually gave it a try, although it was rather difficult to try because I was just getting off work at Lifetime Fitness and I was in heeled boots. But my boss
Oh,
said, "Oh, come on, try it." And I'm like, "Okay." So that was my one and only experience with pickleball. But I know a lot of people that really love it.
I do too. I was shocked. Um, when my parents moved to Florida in like 1992,
Hmm.
um, they had pickleball. So I played it then and never heard anything about it again until um, one of the, I have a PA student that comes out and she stretches me, and she is into pickleball. She plays in tournaments. She wants to be a professional pickleballer. So she turned me on to that. And so I ask people randomly, just like you, I say, have you ever heard of pickleball? Everybody has heard of pickleball. They love it. There's even there are all kinds of television ads now. It's ridiculous, and I
Well,
never
I
heard of
know
it.
it at Lifetime, they actually turned one of their basketball courts into a pickleball court.
Yeah, like
I'm like, okay, you do
well,
realize those were being utilized very well before that, but
well, a lot of
it's
tennis
like,
courts,
okay, so
a lot of tennis
evidently
courts,
it's the latest and greatest.
and a lot of tennis courts are being converted.
Mm,
So because it's easier to play, it's easier court to cover. Um, so I guess people are digging it.
very good. So you said that you use a software called Dragon
Correct.
to to utilize that to write all of your books.
Mhm.
So you've got the five, and are you planning on just continuing to write? You know, where do your ideas come from to get your next book?
Yeah, it's a good question. Um, just out of the blue, like pickleball came because of the student talking to me about pickleball all the time.
Hmm.
Um, I was going to do a book about a cult involving the political divide in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But I started digging into that, and it was it was a lot of wormholes, and it was hard, and I didn't know if Trump would come after me if I did that. So um, kind of put that on hold.
Yeah.
I then I got the other day I had an idea about writing a funnier book called like The Luckiest Man in the World, and just how he goes through life, um, and things happen that he doesn't even know about that make his life great rather than lousy. So we'll see. It's all like I said. I'd like to catch up and sell a few books before I write too many more. But I love it. Um, I come out and I read about so many tortured authors on some of the Facebook sites. Like
Mm.
I've been writing this book for 7 years and I'm going to redraft it. I don't like any of it. And I've never had that problem. But then people are saying, what should the word count be in a chapter? And I said, my response is always, it should be as many excellent words as you can use, not just 2,500 crappy words to get to your count. So I don't know. It's funny. There's so many different opinions about how to write, and people are under the impression that they can't use brand names or people's names or band songs, and that's not true. You can use it, just don't defame them, and you'll have no problems. But even if you did, I say, wouldn't it be great publicity if the Rolling Stones came after you because of something you wrote? And here I'm that guy who sold 14 copies of a book, and they're suing me. That would be thousands of sales right there. So maybe I do need to write about Trump and get him irritated.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Now, how did you get this group started?
I got this group started over a year ago, about a year and a half ago now, doing small events. And then a year ago, November, we decided to do a large event, and we had almost 40 authors. And I've switched that up to maxing out at 32 because it fits into brackets so easily
Okay.
for the book cover contest.
Mhm.
And really, that's going to max out our 6 foot tables because previously we were doing where all authors were sharing an 8 foot table. And so you only get 4 foot of table space. And this time around, we're trying a new layout, and it's going to have 6 foot tables in it. There's 32 authors, and uh, and there's a reading area, which I wasn't sure if you are reading. Yeah, you're reading at this November.
Yep, from the optimistic quadriplegic. Yeah. Um, yeah, I need 4 foot table doesn't work for me
Yeah.
because I can't handle the credit cards. So my wife has to be back there with me. So
Mhm.
6 feet is what I need.
Yeah. And a lot of people prefer the 6 foot table and having it all to themselves, because there's
Mhm.
a big difference between having a 4 foot table that you're sharing you're sharing an 8 foot space, and you only get 4 foot, versus having the whole table to yourself, even if it was only 4 foot. But we decided to go with the 6 foot tables because it's easier to get. Most venues are going to have access to this more of the 6 foot tables.
Mhm.
We use the 4 foot tables in the coffee shops because of space, for our smaller ones, because it's a smaller venue. So putting the 6 foot tables, we could probably get away with the 6 foot in some of the places we do, but not an 8 foot table. So, but yeah, the this holiday book festival is probably going to be one of the best we've had so far. We've increased our attendance, um, from our last November event to the one that we had in April. And now we're going to have this one in November. And I can see the attendance going up and up because more people know that we have the event. Plus, the venue is getting more attention because
Oh,
the venue that we use, they just turned a year old in May.
okay.
So that has, it's been,
Yeah,
oh, where's that
we
at?
we lived in South Lyon for quite a bit
Hmm.
of time, and that's very close to Milford.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully they'll have all the construction done in November.
Don't count on it.
Yeah. I couldn't even say that one with a straight face.
Yeah.
I mean, we we were at when we just moved in May, and where we were at was construction on Grand River, construction on 96, construction on Wixom Road, and it was such a relief to get out of there because that was the only way I was escaping that much construction. Um, and so we moved to South Carolina,
Oh,
and
okay.
so for 25, we're going to have the June event, and we'll have an October June event will be in Michigan, and then the October event, we're going to have our first event in South Carolina.
I noticed that, and I wondered what the heck's going on, Maddie. And so that explains a lot.
Yep. So we moved down here, and what I have found is that the community really comes out for events. So whenever there's something going on downtown Greer, there's a lot.
Good,
Um, so I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in November.
right?
Hopefully the snow will stay away a little bit, just so that we can have a lot of shoppers. And
Yeah, and November we should still be okay.
yeah, yeah, we
Uh,
actually did pretty well last year when it came to snow. It wasn't too bad. And we actually had some people that went into town, into downtown Milford for their parade and passed out flyers. And we have a few people that have said that they want to do that again this year. So,
good.
um, that'll get a little more advertising because I way underestimated how many people attend that parade. So way more cards need to be printed this year. And then I'm going to
Oh,
have more signs up so that the parade goers know, hey, you're done there? Come here. Get your books.
what's the parking situation down
It's
there?
a huge parking lot, very large parking lot. Um,
So the parade won't interfere with
no,
parking availability?
no, no,
Great.
because we are just south of downtown. We're actually, it's off of Milford Road as you head north into downtown Milford. Um, so it's on the way in and out of town. It's not like right downtown. Um, and so we have a huge parking lot area, and it is a zero entry from the parking lot into the building.
You're
So there's
talking my
there's
language.
no ramps, there's no stops. It's zero entry. There's not even a curb.
Great.
So
So do you have all 32 spots filled?
yes, I do, along with a
Wow.
wait list.
Wow.
Yep,
That's
we
great.
have 3 on the wait list so far, and this is August. So
Mm.
um who knows? I had people last year back out at the very last minute due to personal things, and with that I was like, okay, so what what do you want to do? And they some of them went to the spring event, and um and some of my wait list from spring is now coming to our November event. So it,
And,
it's been great. And what amazes me is how many people I don't already know.
oh, I guess
So
that could be.
it's not just a gathering of my personal friends,
Right.
which it's nice to have my friends there, but it's also nice to see everybody going, "Hey, let's go to this event." You know?
Right. That's
So
great.
that has been really nice.
So we'll be new friends.
Awesome. And I look forward to meeting you and your wife in person.
Right.
That will be great. And thank you for joining me for this interview. And I will see you in November.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Mandy.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.